into this training session with the puppy. Good job, boy. Free. Come here. Yeah. Down. Good down, boy. Good job. Stand. Good stand. Sit. Good boy. Pretty. Good. Pretty. Total stud, huh? Total stud. Good boy. Choop. Good job. Hey, what's up, the unwanted? How we doing today? We're just getting into this training session. We just started, so you get to see the whole thing. We just kind of jump into some commands right away. He's got some sneezing to do. So when he's in the center heel, he's in the center heel. If I'm backing up, he's backing up. If I'm turning this way, he's turning that way. If I'm turning this way, he's turning that way. Tap my left shoulder. He heels onto this left side. Good job. Give him a little finger wag. Good boy. I can send him back to the place non-verbally. What? Yep, he's a good boy. I tap my right butt cheek. He heels onto this right side. Hey, good job, boy. That's a really good boy you are. Send him back to the place non-verbally. Yeah, he's getting a little pep in his step. He's waking up. Good. Tap my left butt cheek. Good. Good boy. Good job. Good boy. Now check out this rear end awareness. Good boy. So we're rotating around in this circle. Good job. And I'm going to send him into another circle. Good. And he jumps back into place. Good boy. Choop. Good job. Getting dizzy doing that as usual. So that's on the left side. Now check it out on the right side. So this is a totally different command. We're going to be going the other direction now. So he's moving in. This is totally different from him. Quiet. Quiet. Good. Good. He's got to hustle to get back. Choop. Good job. He's probably getting dizzy like me, huh? All right, guys. So we're doing our mealtime training session. We got his food out, and we are just having him work for that food. What? Hey, good job. Good boy. So check out these nonverbal commands. That was a nonverbal down. That's a nonverbal stand. Good boy. It's a nonverbal sit. Good. Good stand. Good stand. Good job. Nonverbal sit. Nonverbal pretty. Good, pretty. He's a pretty boy. Yes, you are. He's a pretty boy. Good. This one's tough for him. You see him? He's really having to get a little tense and focused because he's having to balance. Free. All right, now check these out. Yeah, he's an excited boy. He loves to work. So my feet are like this. I'm going to stagger my feet like this, and you're going to see that he knows what to do. So I stagger my feet, and he knows that he's going into a weave. It's a sleepy boy weave because he's tired. Good. Now my feet are like this. I'm not gonna stagger him. I'm just gonna widen them out like this. Now he understands that this means good to get into that center position and just chill. Now if I step with my right foot first, he knows to stay in place. Super clear communication. No commands needed. Now if I want him to come with me, tips on a reactive pressa canario, 9 months old. Yeah, that's probably a lot to handle. That dog, you know. You're going to have to work through the full training process. There's no secret tips, you know. You're going to have to cover all your bases. Left foot first means he's going to come with me. Don't have to say anything. Yeah, work with the trainer. You're going to have to figure out your house. You're going to have to structure your house. You're going to have to figure out how to be a better leader for that dog. You're going to have to figure out how to better manage the dog's resources. You're going to have to do some leash training. You're going to have to do obedience work. You're going to have to learn to play with that dog. You're going to have to make sure they get some off-leash freedom eventually. There's a lot of things to check off. There's not just some tip to it. And when you check off all those things, your dog's reactivity will magically go away. And you'll also have the tools to address it directly, whatever bit of it remains. But you got to check out all those pillars of dog training. Dogs need to be stimulated? Absolutely. How many training sessions do you do? With him, this is my personal dog, so I don't really try to do anything. We're just always working. We're always having fun. We're always training. We're always exercising. We're always playing. But I pretty much only do these training sessions for you guys. And because it's good for him to have to work for his food. But he's 6. I got him when he was 1. So we've done a ton of work to where it's like I could not do these pretty easily. But I don't like to be lazy with him. Back up, dude. Back up. All right, so if I step with my right foot, he's going to stay back in place. I can go shake people's hands, I can walk into the cafe where dogs aren't allowed, and go up to my food truck. How do you even see that? See what? Was he moving? I thought I heard him. So when I step with my left foot, oh, how does he see my feet moving? So when I step with my left foot, he knows to come with me. So he's actually not looking at my feet. That's the human cue. You know, he's looking at my body. So if I step with my left foot, that means this side of my body is moving first. If I step with my right foot, that means this side of my body is moving first. But you see him looking up because he's not looking at my feet. Now I left him over there, tap my left butt cheek, he heels on the left side. Now I step with my left foot and you see he's looking up. So he's not seeing my foot, he's seeing my body shift and this left side's moving first, so he knows to come with me. Hey, so I kind of made him run into the kennel because he's going a little too far ahead. So I kind of used that kennel to correct him. Yep, he's got his own couch. How did you get him to obey? Just working through the full dog training process. Hey, what's up, show? When you work through the full dog training process, you learn how to hold the dog accountable. And when you learn how to hold the dog accountable, you can teach the dog to eagerly follow your lead. Like my dog listens to everything I tell him to do, and he's in a good headspace doing it. That's just, it's not magic. You know, it's going through a step-by-step training program, and it's making yourself out to be a worthy leader in the dog's eyes. What I'm doing right now, hand feeding him his food, having him work for it, that makes me appear to be a very worthy leader in his dog brain, from his dog perspective. So it makes a lot of sense to listen to me. It makes a lot of sense to follow my lead as I guide him out in the world. So because of this training that I'm doing in the house, when we go outside, he's more likely to listen to me and engage with me because he's like, oh, that's the guy who hand feeds me the food. It must be his food and I get to eat it. It must be his walk I get to go on. It must be his toys I get to play with. I don't do this to be a controlling psycho over my dog. I do this because it benefits him. Can I see tricks? Yeah, we're about to do a bunch of tricks. You guys want to see all of his tricks free? Let's bust out a ton right here. How is he going with getting on your back? Ooh, we're going to get back to that. Yesterday, he got on my back while on my hands and knees. He jumped up on there. So we'll get to that in a little bit. It's been progressing. But he's jumping up on there when I'm on my hands and knees. And we got a command word for it. So it's been fun, Brooksy, but you'll see the progress we made. But we're going to do a few other stuff right before. So let's just bust out a bunch of tricks. So check this out. I'm about to string together like a bunch of commands. Someone time this. Someone get their watch or their phone out and time this for me. So think about how he's going to have to focus on like 30 different commands. A bunch of them are going to be nonverbal, and we're just going to string them all together at the same time, and you're going to see how long he kind of keeps that focus and stays locked in. Sit. Pretty. Pretty. Good. Good boy. Off. Down. Good. Good. You see his engine revving up. Good boy. Good. Free. Free. Heel. Good. God, he's going to bark so loud when I do this. It's a little late, but we're going to do one of them. Globe. Quiet, 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 quiet. Free. I got a neighbor close by, so that's a little much. Good. All right, so let's reward him for all that. I don't know how many commands that was, maybe 30. How long was that? Anyone time it? Ba, ba, ba. Have you ever worked with livestock guardian dog before? I have, yeah. Psych service dogs? I have not worked with psych service dogs. So I do pet training. So I do reactivity, aggression, fearfulness. I do behavior modification, and I do that type of training for pet owners. That's what I do. So just your everyday people with difficult dogs. And we work through on-leash training, we work through off-leash training. So you bring me a very difficult dog with behavioral issues, and we work through my entire program, and you'll get an off-leash dog who you can, take to hikes and cafes or whatever you want to do with your specific dog. What? Free. Hey. Sit. But you could do basic obedience and advanced off-leash obedience with me, and then kind of move more into service dog training for specific medical things. But you wouldn't be doing that with me. That's not my expertise. Pretty. Pretty. Come on. Good job, dude. What? How'd you get up there? Good boy. Choop. Good job, Mr. Puppy. Difficult dog, that's mine. Yep, that's this guy. He's a pit bull husky. He's 6 years old. I counted 34. Oh, someone counted too. So it was a minute 15. And we busted out 34 commands. Oh, cool. Thanks for counting those. Yeah, that's a lot. So, I mean, I could do that for 5 minutes straight if I wanted to just drag it on and on and on. But when you guys are watching that and you're like, man, that's a lot of commands. That's a lot of focus. Like, remember that we're not special. Like, I'm not special at all. I'm not a dog whisperer, and he's definitely not special. He has terrible genetics. He should have never been bred. He was a reactive, aggressive nightmare dog that I've just put a ton of work into. So anyone could do, you know, especially this obedience stuff. This stuff's easy once you know what you're doing. It's the behavior modification that's tough, changing the actual dog's emotions. Because just because your dog will do fancy tricks and cool stuff with you doesn't mean that they're not going to try to attack that other dog that they're aggressive towards, or react at the kids on scooters at the park. Like, they're different things. Teaching obedience can help you with behavior modification, but teaching obedience by itself doesn't change your dog's baseline emotions around their triggers. You have to do a few other training things to get all that working. Hey, what's up, Elitas? Hey, what's up, Smokey? Good to see you back in here. Now I remember you because you were just in. Hey, what's up, Harper? Harper, you told me your name. I remember it was a cool name. I don't remember it. I was really trying to remember. I just know it was cool. Do high impact walking? What do you mean? What sort of small exercise would you recommend for less leash pulling for a dog that can't do high impact walking? What do you mean by high impact walking? Yeah, I don't know what you mean by that. Free. Dog talk. Yep. Silver. Yeah, that's what it was. Hey, thanks, Rachel. He is a good doggo. What? What? Oh, I'm trying to get him to stand. Good. Stand. Choop. He doesn't stand automatically when I do that because I haven't taught him it. Maybe I should take some time. Choop. Good. So I've been teaching him to touch my paw like that. Hey, chill, buddy. Choop. Oh, that was a good one. How do you stop jumping on people? You got to leash train the dog. And if your dog's jumping on people, you got to walk into them. Like, you got to teach the dog to clear space. If your dog's jumping on you, it means you're just being a total pushover. It means you're not giving the dog any consequences. You're not communicating that, hey, knock that off. You have to walk into the dog. You have to use your spatial pressure, your verbal pressure. Put a leash on the dog. Give the dog a leash pop. It's just completely disrespectful and unacceptable for a dog just to be jumping on everyone. And they do it because they're allowed. Until you step in and create a consequence, the dog's just going to keep doing it. It's not their fault. You just aren't being a firm, clear communicator and leader to just let them know that that's not allowed. When you do that, the dogs will understand. And then you reward the dog for what you do want them to do. So if your dog decides to relax and not jump on somebody in a situation where they used to jump on the person, reward them for that. Mark and reward them for that. But you have to give the dog a punishment for this bad behavior. Am I teaching my dog the leg thing? We did horrible. Well, it's only up from there. It's only up from there. So she's talking about this. So my dog responds to which leg I step forward with. So if we come to a stop, he comes to a stop. If I step with my right foot first, he stays in place, and I can go shake people's hands or go get my food or drink from the window or the barista or whatever, and he stays there. Now, when I mark with my chirping sound I make. So when I step with my left foot, he knows to come with me. So left foot means walk with me. I don't have to say any command. So he stays back. If I spread my legs, he comes and pops in. Left foot first. Chirp. And that's my reward marker right there. It's a chirping sound. It's just like yes. It's just like a clicker, but I use the chirping sound. So same thing here on the right. Right, come on. Good. Good. So if I step with my right foot first, he's going to stand. He's going to malfunction. Let's reset. Good. So if I step with my right foot first, he's going to stay in place. And if I tap my right butt cheek, which he's anticipating, he's going to come get back in position. Now if I step with my left foot first, choop, he knows to come with me. So all a bunch of super clear nonverbal communication. How long have you been training this particular dog for? He's 6. I got him when he was 1, so we've been through it. And we're just having fun now. We just do this for fun. This might look like a training session to you guys, but I always remind you guys how this isn't a training session. Like if I was training my dog, I would have a leash on him, or I'd be outside with like an e-collar on him. I've had some way of applying pressure or communicating to him. Like we're just messing around. And if you look really closely, a lot of what we're doing is sloppy. Like we're kind of doing sloppy heels, and we're just messing around, having fun. And that's how we work for our food. And he enjoys doing this. I enjoy doing it, and it's really good for him. It's like as you get older, you want to stay focused. As you become an old person, you want to play Sudoku and do games to keep your mind occupied and go for walks to keep your body moving. That's what this is for a dog. Good, because I don't want my dog to fall off a cliff when he gets older. And he's getting old. He's 6.5. So you saw me step off with my right foot. He stayed in place. I tapped my left butt cheek. He got back in position. Now I'm going to step with my left, and he's going to come with me. But let's give him a test. Let's see if he really knows that stay means stay. So I step with my right foot. He stays. But what if food comes flying in over his head? Is he going to stay? Yes. He's going to look at all the food. What? If he catches it, he catches it. But he didn't have any luck there. What commands and actions do you use while training? We keep it real simple. So for the only commands your dog needs to do when working through basic training is sit, down, place, heel, and come. Yeah, that's the only 5 commands we teach, And when you learn how to teach those commands, you'll have the skills and the dog training foundation to teach your dog anything. Because the same way I teach these fancy weaves and fancy spins and sit pretty and all of this stuff, it's using the same steps that I use to teach sit and down. So you don't need to understand how to teach 100 different commands. You need to understand how to use a food lure. You need to understand how to use leash pressure. You need to understand how to use a marker communication system. And when you understand how to do all those things, and you understand how to communicate to your dog, you'll be able to teach them whatever commands you want to put the time into teaching them. I'm watching him too on this screen, so I see him kind of just staring. He's so good looking, isn't he? He's just such a handsome dog. Yep, gloves for training. Yep, we use prong collars during on-leash training, and we transition to e-collars during off-leash training. And this is good for him. This is really good impulse control. This is why he's so mentally stable, because we do stuff like this. And you see he's so calm. He's not like, all overexcited and anxious. And he's just sitting there waiting, and he's happy to do so. So because we do stuff like this, Heidi, you're funny. Yeah, because we do stuff like this, I can trust him out in the world. Like this is easy in here, but we drill in these low distraction environments. We go to low distraction areas, and you drill there and you drill there, and you slowly work your way up in training. So eventually you can get a dog to respond and relax like this in a busy park, on a busy beach, indoors, in festivals, wherever you want to take your dog. Like I take him to downtown Seattle. Go watch the last couple of videos I posted. He's off leash in downtown Seattle with people everywhere, dogs everywhere, and he's just chilling. We have a little place bed that we use. So let's he got distracted. This side's a little harder for him. See, he's a little slower. Distracted, distracted, work, work. Come on, come on, come on. Chip. Getting dizzy. Does age matter when training? Absolutely not. You can train an old dog. You can, but. But you can also do all the same training without prong collars and e-collars. It will never be to the same level. And the prong collars and the e-collars are very helpful tools. Like, the reason I talk so much about these tools and how to properly use them and how to appropriately use them and why they're fair, why they're effective, why we do this, it's because it's for the best interest of the dog. Like, when you understand how to use them, they help out the dog so much. Like, they build up their freedom, their training, their confidence, their resilience, their communication. Like, a dog that understands rules and boundaries, who's been properly taught to deal with pressure and respond to obligation and accountability, is a dog that's going to be a lot more mentally stable because they understand what they need to do and they get the freedom from that. And when you don't understand how to use these tools, it's really easy to demonize them, and you think it's, oh, all these people are abusing their dogs and it's so evil, and the dog's only listening out of fear, and it's just not true, you know. And when you, if you do want to, you absolutely don't have to use tools. But if you do want to, and someone takes you through the process of properly using a prong collar or an e-collar, you'll start to understand, like, oh, like, this is how it actually works. Like, this is how you properly use it. This is why this is helpful for the dog. So I don't, if people don't want to use tools, they don't have to use tools. Like, you know, I'm very clear about how I train and why I train that way, but you don't have to train with me. The only reason I talk about it is because it's detrimental to the dog when someone's so closed-minded that they don't want to understand how these things works. And that might be the thing that would have helped their dog out the most. That might be the thing that would have made a big difference in their training. But they were too stuck in their human emotions. They were too stuck in what they believed in and being right. Like, the right training is what works. Like, it's just what gets results. It's just what creates a mentally stable dog. You know, that's all I care about. If you want to do that with a freaking hula hoop, if that's your tool for training, cool. If it works, it works. That's awesome. But there's a reason so many trainers, so many great trainers use things like prong collars and e-collars. And it's not because there's just millions of people across the country who are just secret dog abusers who just like hurting their dogs. That's not why these tools are so popular. And it's kind of a dark perspective to think that everybody using a tool is just abusing and creating a fearful dog. That would be a dark world, you know? But that's just not the reality of the fact. What, buddy? He's a pit bull husky. No, I don't train cats. Go to your place. Someone asked him to place. There you go. You ever trained an American Akita? I have trained an Akita. It was a little bit of a mix, but I have trained an Akita. Yeah, they're tougher dogs. They're an ancient breed, and they can be a little stubborn, and they're hard-headed, and they're powerful. You really need to show an Akita respect, and you really need to be a firm leader. But they're just like any other tough, hard-headed dog, psycho dog. They're trainable. Free. All right, so we've been teaching him to jump up on my back. So we're going to get into this. Yep, have trained Cane Corsos. Mixes more. Cane Corsos are really easy to train when you know what you're doing and really difficult to train when you don't. It's kind of like the same with a lot of those powerful dogs, like a Shepherd or a Rottie or a Doberman. Like, these are very trainable dogs. You, the owner, just have to understand what the training plan is and how to execute on it. Then those dogs are very responsive because these dogs, they want to work. They want to learn, but they got a lot of energy. So that same energy is what we use to train. But when you don't know how to train, all the energy is just chaos and it creates behavioral problems. But that's the same energy that makes them so trainable. It's just we need to put all that energy that they're putting into reacting or aggression or just problematic, destructive behavior. We put all that same energy into obedience, into play, into structure and discipline, into engagement with you, into fun exercise, into breed-specific outlets. And it's still the same dog. We're not going to suppress all of their energy and drive and excitement. Like, that would not be fair. That would create a shutdown dog. We just transmute that, you know, into the proper areas through training. Yeah, Cane Corsos are awesome dogs. He's a pit bull husky. How do you train them to turn around? Probably of food lore. Depends on exactly what you mean by that. But we've been working on getting him to jump on my back. So I'll show you guys the progressions that we did to get where we're at. But if you're free, buddy, you can move around. But we're training him to eventually, me just hunch over like this and he jumps up there. That's the end goal. And to do that, I first started laying on the ground like this. Hey, hey, come over here. He's already excited. You see him just already trying to engage with the place. Because he's like, oh boy, we're doing something. And he gets real aroused. He gets real excited, which is good for training. You know, he's very teachable, but it's a lot of energy. So I got to hold him back there. So I got down on the ground. And I put the place board on my back to teach him to get on my back. Because he did not know that he was supposed to get on my back. So I couldn't like lure him onto my back while I was laying down. And I wasn't going to get him to jump up on me right away. So I went to his level, to the ground. And I used this to teach him that, hey, I want all 4 paws on my back. And since he already knew place, he knew to just get on my back with that place board. Come over here. Oh, you heard me say place talking to you guys. And then after he understood how to do that, and we've been calling this surf. So when I say surf, good. Choop. Good job. And after he got that, I would put him on my back just like that, and I would slowly climb up. We'll demonstrate that just to show you guys. Easy. Surf. You're a little too excited. Good. Good boy. Good job. Good boy. Good job, dude. It's a good boy. And I did that, and now you're gonna see me just go straight to my hands and knees and have him jump up there. But that's how we got to that point. We did this over a few days. I want to teach mine to give me a back rub. Standard poodles, like, again, trainable when you know what you're doing, tough to train when you don't. After training, can they go into a casual, relaxed play mode? Yeah, that's what you want to do. Yeah, like that's fine. But more importantly than that, you want to have them have an off switch after that, to where after the training, after the casual play, is your dog able to just relax? Do they have a good place command, a good crate command? Hey, thanks for the gift. I think little firefly, I might have missed that. I'm terrible with the gift. Sorry, guys. I'm just too busy with my dog, but I appreciate it. All right, so now we're gonna have them jump up on, just on my hands and knees. Surf. Good. Good job. Does he look proud up there? That's how I envision him. Choop. What? Oh, dude, that was super good. Now, I bet we could get him to do the end today. Because that's where we finished yesterday. Regal. That's a good word. No, he doesn't know guard. We were going to maybe teach that on the next one. Because I'm always teaching something new. How do you learn? Go to my YouTube. Can you make him stand up? He sits pretty. If that's what you mean by stand up. But he can't get on his hind legs and like stand like some dogs do. He just looks like he's ready to get down. Yeah, it's so new. Like, it'll take time for him to get comfortable there. He's still like excited because we're training, and also just like a little like it's a new command, so he's a little like unsure up there. But you see him holding it. He's like in the pocket and he's holding it, even though it's a new thing. You know, it's not normal for him to be up there on my back, but he's doing a great job of understanding what I want him to do, and he'll get more and more comfortable with time. Ba ba ba. All right, so we're just going to try to see if he will do this now. Now, I'm not really expecting him to be able to do this, but all I'm going to do is just hunch over like this and see if he can jump all the way up there. But he might need more of a, oh, that's not what I wanted. Come here. Easy. Might need more of like a runway. Surf. Oh. Yeah, so how are we gonna get him up here? So, oh, I know what I have to do. Come here. Hey, chill. He's like, I don't know what you want to do. Surf. Good. Good boy. Good. Good. Good boy. Good. That's fun. I love when we like take a step further into whatever we're teaching. Yeah, he's a fit, healthy dog. See ya. Have you ever done like strict training on live? Yeah, sometimes you'll catch me out doing a training session outside with him, but it's still like we're just having fun and messing around. My actual training session was with clients. If I film those, it's for my online course. It's for my course footage for paying clients, so it goes onto that platform. But most of my content's just messing around with him, and we don't really do like crazy strict training sessions. He's 50 pounds. Yeah, he's super healthy. Super healthy boy. And you guys will see more of what we feed. So when we're doing this training, part of his meal, it's just his kibble. But after we finish this, he's going to go in the kennel. He's going to get some human food, an egg, some coconut oil, a few supplements, some blueberries, some manuka honey. But he works for this. All right, so we're going to do that again. Good boy. Surf. Good. Is he sitting? Good. Good. Good boy. Good boy. Good, buddy. Good surf. Good surf, buddy. Good boy. Joop. Hey, nice, dude. Yes, he was sitting. So was he sitting and then he like got out of the sit? I thought I felt him sit, but then I feel like he got out of it. He said, I'm tired of this one, Dad. He's definitely getting more comfortable up there. Yeah. It's just for fun. Like someone asked, what's the purpose of that? And it's just for fun. Like there's no functional reason to teach this. Something like a down command or a place command or a sit and a heel. Those are functional out in the real world. That's why we focus on those during training programs. But after that, you just do this stuff for fun. You know, it builds your relationship. It builds trust. So him having to stay up there is building his confidence and building his trust in me. You know, like I could like wig out and like throw him off of me, but he has to stay up there and trust that I'm not going to do something like that. And I'm rewarding him for being on top of a stable moving object, which is me in this scenario. It's just like going to a playground and rewarding your dog for interacting with the weird surfaces and jumping on this. Like we'll go climb ladders and jump on swings and merry-go-rounds and go down slides and all this stuff. And he enjoys doing that now. But at first, it was something that we had to work through to build up his confidence and his assuredness that, hey, I got you. If you fall off this ladder, I'm going to catch you. But if you push through and climb to the top, I'm going to give you a reward. And the dog learns that, oh, like new scary objects and challenges aren't that scary. And I'm able to do them. And he's able to receive the clear communication from me that this is a positive thing that he's working through this. So this is just another vessel for doing that. Yep, keeps the brain sharp. You said down, he went down, yeah. I can change my tone if I'm talking to you, but that one I kind of kept it free, the same tone. But if I say something like down or heel or in this voice, it's like he knows that I'm not talking to him. All right, we're going to do that one again. Good boy. Surf. Good job, boy. Good boy. We're going to get some duration, so we're going to hold him up here. Good boy, Jax. Good boy. Good boy. Choop. Now, I would, you know, maybe like hold treats in my hand and like give him some treats when he's up there. But he's not the type of dog that responds to that. If I had treats in my hand while he was doing this, he'd be kind of like losing his mind. He'd be overly focused on the treats. So it's kind of like different problem solving for certain dogs. For him, it helps to find a way to get the treats out of the equation as quickly as we can, because he kind of just gets too fixated on them. It's not productive. But other dogs may really need that. You know, it might not be something that they'll lose their mind over. They kind of need that for guidance. He's a little different. Good job, buddy. But let's try something. Here, I don't want him to see me grab this. Relax. Hey, hey. I'm going to put a ball in my pocket. I'm going to see if I can sneak him a ball while he's up there, because that will just seal the deal. He'll be like, okay, this is the place to be. All right, over here, buddy. Good. This is tough for me because I got to kind of keep my body locked in so I don't hurt my back. But he's not that big, so. Surf. Good. I heard him have a loose jaw for a sec, which is good. Good boy. He doesn't seem the most stable. So. Good boy. Good. Okay, so I'm really glad that he stayed up there when his ball fell. Like, he could have jumped off and aborted mission, but he was like, no, I'm going to stay up there. But I don't know how much the ball actually helps in this situation, because it might just lead to too much kind of like excitement where he might become even a little more unstable. It's a little tougher when I can't see him. But I imagine the better problem-solving route here would probably be to not have the ball and just kind of keep really calm, neutral energy. Like, no rewards. Like, he understands the command. Let's just get you up there and stabilize. And bringing the ball might be a little too much, but we're going to try one more time just because I can't help it. Why is he being trained to stand on back? Just for fun. He fully sat down. He was sitting again the whole time. He seemed relaxed upon your back this time the most. Okay, that's good to hear. You should do ASMR. Yeah, I have a freaking stuffy nose. So it's hard to breathe when I'm talking, so I keep running out of breath. He sat the whole time on that one. He was sitting again. I wish I could see this. I can look at it after, but sitting. I think he's ready to try jumping while you stand up now. Yeah, let me do one more trying to get the ball up there. And then we'll go to just doing it while I'm standing up the whole time. Hey, good job, buddy. You're doing super good. Surf. Good. Good boy. Good boy, Jax. Good boy. Good boy. Good boy. Yeah, you can get it, boy. Good boy. Get it, boy. All right, the ball's not helping. Good job. Choop. So he's kind of just like not taking the ball, which is fine. Oh, I got to see the end of it because it's a few seconds behind on my iPad. The command is surf. He thought about it. Yeah, so we don't need the ball. There might be some situations where you need to bring something out. I was just kind of experimenting there, but we very clearly don't need that ball to get him to get up there and have a positive association with it. But if you took the ball up there and kind of relax a little more with the ball, great. Sometimes giving a dog a toy or something to hold in their mouth to communicate that you're doing the right thing can kind of help relax them. But sometimes you're just going to be a little unstable when you're first teaching a new command and they're doing something like going up on an unstable surface. Like, it's okay if your dog's a little nervous up there. Like, you want to work through that and then reward them for it. You know, it's not like, oh no, my dog's a little nervous doing this new trick. It's like, that's fine. Just stay calm, work through it, and build them up. But avoiding that stress, avoiding that little bit of nervousness, that's not the right thing to do, because then you empower it. And then you're not building a confident, resilient dog. You have to learn, hey, what are the best steps to work through this and to get past this and build up that confidence and resilience in that dog. Who's training the dog or the human? It's definitely me. It's always me training. Oh yeah, I could put the iPad on the floor. Yeah, I can look back at it after though. I don't want to be too distracted. Glove just really helps with when you're hand feeding with the slobber. If you guys ever hand feed your dogs, try using a glove and you'll never go back. But let's try and see if he can hop up there without me getting on all fours first. Good boy. Surf. Nope. Come here. Good job. Let me try. Hey. Good boy. Okay, you go. I'm going to hunch over a little more than I did that last time. Bend my knees a little bit. Surf. So he's wanting to go under my legs, which I don't know why, because usually I spread my legs if I want him to pop from behind me underneath right here. So he just doesn't really know what I'm asking right now. So, maybe a small box. Oh, so, yeah, because he's definitely a jumper. Like, he'll jump up on high things. He just doesn't really know that I want him to jump up on there. And it's a little more confusing because it's higher up than where I was the last step. But let's go back to the last step. And let's see. Let's problem solve. But if you guys got any tips, I'm happy to take them. Yeah, we got videos on puppy buy-in for sure. He tried and was like, nah. Good job. Easy. Surf. Good. Good, dude. That was good. Good boy. He could have aborted mission when he kind of fell there, but he stayed strong. That's confidence and trust. Good job, buddy. Choop. So there, instead of being on all fours, I was kind of like this. So that's one step further. One step closer to me just being hunched over. Yep, kind of like what one knee would do. And yeah, a small box could help, but I think it would just confuse him bringing in some type of like box to step up on. He would be like, what the heck am I supposed to do with that and you? So we're just going to keep kind of slowly creeping closer to me being, hey, good boy, to me being fully upright. Good boy. Surf. Good. Good boy. Good. He's sitting. What a goofball. Good boy, Jax. You're doing really good, buddy. Choop. Oh. Getting closer. We might just chill there. I cry for your knees getting up and down. Yeah. Good job, dude. He was so proud. Yeah, that's what happens when you do this. Like, you know, it's probably a little stressful. He's jumping up there. You hear him kind of whining a little bit, but then he works through it. And he's like, yeah, I got this. And then he feels me stabilize and he feels me calm and he kind of calms. And then I reward him at the end by marking it. He gripped on and got up so proud. Nice. He's like, let me relax. Yeah. Want to do one more, buddy? Hey, good job, boy. I don't know if he has quite enough runway to kind of get up from when I'm kind of have my legs fully extended. Good boy. Surf. No, not quite. All right, we're gonna try to get one more, like I was doing, and end there because I don't want to end on a bad note. So we're gonna do one more just to keep his confidence high, make it a little easier, just end on a good note. Because you see him getting like a little stressed out, not like bad stress, but just like a little bit. Starting to push him a little bit, which is fine. Surf. Good boy, that was really good. You got up there nice and calm, buddy. Confident too. Good boy, Jax. Super good boy. I can see him in the reflection of my window. What a proud doofus. All right, so we're gonna stop there. That's a good starting point, and that was a really good rep. So if I try to keep pushing and pushing, which I've done in the past, I hate to break to you guys, but to get a dog to this level of training and to do the stuff that you see us do in our videos out in the real world, it takes some pushing. Like we worked too hard years back, and we had to learn to kind of dial things back and slow down. But now we know how to do that a lot better. So we kind of get to a good point and let's chill. Good job, buddy. The regal sit. I love how he looked in the camera with such confidence. You're a stud, dude. He was like, I really want to, but I don't know how. Yeah, and he doesn't know how. And that's okay. Yeah, he's a stud, isn't he, bunnies? Yeah, he does sleep in the kennel at night. Not this kennel. He sleeps in the kennel in my bedroom, next to my bed, just as more of a bonding experience, us being in the same room. But he does sleep in the kennel. He sleeps really well, and he enjoys it. And he'll be in this kennel when I leave sometimes. He can stay out sometimes, but like, it's better for the dog to just decompress and go to their natural space. Like, he wants to be there. Like, I already know that I'm with my dog every day, so I know that he's getting out. He's playing. I know he's exercising. I know he gets fed well. I know he gets to be engaged with and gets attention and gets to play with his friends and gets to hike and bike and fetch and tug and all of that. So I know he's so well taken care of that he doesn't need to be doing anything when I leave the house. Like, I don't leave the house and be like, all right, what activities am I going to set up for my dog to do while I'm gone? It's like, no, he just needs to be sleeping. Like, that's the best thing for him to be doing because he needs to decompress and just get more time recovering and that regenerative health that he gets from just sleeping. And then he just waits for the next time when we go out. But if you have a dog that, like, you think needs to be doing something all day, like, or when you leave to the gym or whatever you're doing, like, I would say, like, what else are you doing the rest of the day with your dog? Like, why do they need stuff to do then? Like, I would say, hey, how can you be more productive on your walks and your outings and your activities that you do with your dog so you're not worried about them keeping themselves occupied? Because a dog that is able to just do whatever they want in the house, I always use this example of that's like a kid who goes to his bedroom at night with an iPad. Like, you tell the kid, hey, go to bed, but you give him an iPad. He's just going to scroll all night. He's not going to sleep. He's going to be stimulated. And it's not going to help him the next day. He's going to be screwed. It's just like with a dog who, oh, what am I going to sniff in the house? What window am I going to go look at? What am I going to go chew up? Like, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? It's like you're allowing them to scroll. Instead of just conditioning something like a crate, putting them in there to where they have to decompress and rest. That's actually better for them. But we get in our human emotions and we think that, like, our dog needs to be occupied at all times. It's like, no, that's an unstable dog. You need a dog that can just relax and do nothing. Like, that is such a valuable skill because it's like they're meditating, you know? They're more recovered. They're more mentally stable. He'll get in the kennel in a sec. He'll happily go in there. As we are right now instead of sleeping. Yeah, yeah. And I'm guilty of it. I'm guilty of scrolling too. But it's like, you know, we don't have to help our dogs make the same mistakes we make. We can kind of take good care of them. And they're lucky because they have someone to give them structure and rules and hold them accountable to it. And they benefit because of that. But it's just, hey, are we confident enough that we know what we're doing as dog handlers. Like we know why this is benefiting our dog. Because if you don't know why it benefits your dog and you're not confident as a dog handler, you're probably not going to be doing the right things for your dog. Because a lot of things in dog training that are the right thing to do is the opposite of what our initial like human emotions will tell us we should do, or a human perspective. Like what the dogs need is something different. So you need to have a trainer teach you how to speak dog and how to read dogs. How has the training gone with him balancing on your back? Oh, you just missed it. We just got done. We were working on it for like 15 minutes. But we got all the way up to this. So I was like this and he got on my back. But when I tried to go like this, it was a little too high. So we slowly worked up to this. But this is pretty close. You know, he got right up there. But I tried it a time or two going like this and it was a little too high. So we'll have to keep problem solving to get up there, but it was good. No, I missed it. Yeah, we'll be back at it next live, and once we get it down, we'll add it to like the repertoire. So you'll see it a bunch. Hey, thanks, Kate Cat, Kit Kat. Yep. Thanks for the goats. Hey, good job, dude. Killing it, bro. Free, come here. Down. Good. I was trying to get him in good position for you guys. Hey, good boy. Man, I was getting a little sweaty there doing that new command. That's fun though. I love teaching them new stuff. Sorry, YouTube. I'm totally ignoring YouTube. Be talking to TikTok today. I got 2 streams, double streaming. Let's go. Yeah, you guys are awesome. First time here, dog lover myself, and my boxer is absolutely my best friend. This was amazing. Hey, glad you enjoyed it. Yeah, I love coming on here and just messing around with my dog. It's really fun. You know, I get to answer some of your guys' questions, and you guys get to see me work through like brand new commands and problem solve and push through some of the challenges. It's fun stuff, you know. Whenever I kind of have free time, end of the night or whatever, I'll get on here with him. How tall is the dog? I don't know how tall he is. He's 50 pounds. He's the perfect size. This is the size I like. I don't like huge 100-pound dogs. It's just too much for me. I like these. I like him, American Pit Bull Terrier kind of size dog. He's a Pit Bull Husky, so he's a mix. But I want to get a purebred like American Pit Bull Terrier. If I can find a good breeder for that at some point. Hey, thanks. Match my loyalty. Appreciate the goats. And Kit Kat. I keep on wanting to say Kit Kat. Yep, he is mixed. He is, yeah, I appreciate it. You guys are awesome. He's a Pit Bull Husky. Yeah, he's a cutie, huh? He's great with the eye contact. We're obviously doing like a mealtime training session, but he gives me awesome eye contact, you know, out in the world and when I don't have his food because of this foundation, you know, attaching that eye contact to a valuable resource like his food. Yeah, but he should have never been bred because a Pit Bull Husky, like there's no like ethical breeder making Pit Bull Huskies. So if you have a Pit Bull Husky, they were just made in like someone's backyard by people who probably weren't doing genetic testing and weren't doing early development and weren't doing socialization with the litters. So the chances are you probably got a nightmare dog. And the chances are some of those Pit Bull Huskies are psychos. Not gonna point any fingers, but you. And this dog was reactive, aggressive, like every behavioral issue you could think of. Like couldn't be around kids, cats, dogs, couldn't be in the house, couldn't be on the leash, couldn't be in the crate, like couldn't be in the car. Just total nightmare. And it all starts with the genetics. Like he has terrible genetics because a Pit Bull and a Husky are both, you know, neurotic, high drive, working breeds. And you know, Pit Bulls American Pit Bull Terriers can come with some dog aggression, and Huskies can come with some, you know, stubbornness and just kind of like high neuroticism. And you mix those 2 breeds together and you do it in an unstructured, like unplanned setting just to make some money and make a cute dog, chances are you can get a behavioral nightmare. And that's just the reality of the
dog market is that there's a high demand for dogs, so people can, make these dogs in their backyards and sell them on, Craigslist and Facebook Marketplace. And people will buy them, and sometimes it works out, and a lot of times it's tough, and you really got to do a lot of training. Yep, the irresponsible breeding did work out. So someone had Kit Kat. Yeah, I bet Kit Kat's tough to use. What do you use for treats? This is just my kibble that he eats for part of his meal. We're about to put him in the kennel, and he's going to eat the rest of his food, which is like an egg and some blueberries, some manuka honey, some supplements, some coconut oil, a few things. And but this is just a kibble. But for treats, if you're just going to start off with your dog and your dog, isn't very treat motivated, or you need something stronger for your training, I always recommend, stinky meats. Like go get a rotisserie chicken from Costco and cut it up into like 1,000 little pieces. Use like deli meats or hot dogs, and you can get healthy hot dogs if you don't want to feed your dog a bunch of like processed hot dogs. String cheese, like wet stinky cheeses and meats, like that's the way to go. But if your dog responds to just like your basic treats from the pet store, or the kibble that they already eat for their meal, awesome, then just use that. The right treats to use are whatever your dog will work for. Bop, 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 bop. Where do I get a crate to buy? So if you have a really difficult dog, you want to get an impact crate, or a Rufflin kennel is a little cheaper than that. A Gunner kennel is a 5-star crash proof rated kennel that you can put in a vehicle if you want to get that. But if you can't afford it, or if you don't have a difficult dog, just go get a wire crate from PetSmart, from Fred Meyer's. Just a basic wire crate. That's what we have in our car. I got this because I was going to get a truck or an SUV, and I didn't yet. So for now, we just have a wire crate in my sedan, and it's not perfect, but it gets the job done, and hopefully we don't get in an accident, and that's that. And he has a wire crate in my bedroom, so they get the job done. But if you have a really difficult dog and you have the money, get an impact crate. They're unescapable. These Gunner kennels are pretty unescapable. And if you want a little more than a wire crate, but you can't quite afford those high-end ones, get a Ruffland kennel, Ruffland kennel. Every dog is treatable. Yeah, I'd agree for the most part. I think it's like 99%. There are some dogs that are just, I wouldn't say untreatable, but damn close. And I think some are, like some dogs, just the sheer amount of management. But these are like real gangster dogs that really want blood, that are just like insane, and maybe had some really bad experiences for long periods, or just like a frightening concoction of genetics. And those dogs are just really rare. Like people who think they have that dog, you don't have that dog. It's like a very rare dog. Most of the dogs are treatable. It's just, hey, are you able to provide the structure and management that that dog needs? That's all. Do you have the resources, the time, the money to give the dog the management that he needs to live a doable life, a manageable life? And some people don't. That's the unfortunate reality. Is some people don't have the time and the resources and the desire to give some difficult dogs what they need. It'd be great if everyone could, and if you really, really want to, and we can find a way, but it's tough. It can be tough. How long do you recommend for training sessions? It completely depends where you're at in training, what's your ability as a dog handler, what's your plan, what you're working on. There's a million factors, but it could be as short as like 2-3 minutes when you're first working with your dog. Really quick, really short, and go from there. Start really short and learn to read your dog and understand how you can slowly push them into having longer sessions where there's more good than bad. Are there times when you need to like push your dog through some stress and into a longer period of training, and it can be beneficial for them? Yeah, but doing that way too early on might have the opposite effect. So it's a balance, and it's a ever changing thing how long the training sessions could be. But if you're new to it, short, probably way shorter than you think. Quick, productive, efficient, get out. Yep, he's a wild mix. What do you think about American Bulldog XXL mixed with Dojo Argentino? Well, those are two awesome dogs, in my opinion. But like, is that going to be a well-bred dog? That's going to be a Russian roulette that you're playing, because I don't know any breeder that is putting those dogs together in a structured, like methodical way over multiple generations with all the testing and development and mechanisms needed to ensure a high level of genetics and breeding. I don't know anyone that's doing that. So it's probably just a mix that you hope for the best with and just do what you got to do to train them. Shake the paw. Yeah, we'll get up in a sec and do some more tricks and stuff. Yeah, the dogs do. They usually do that one paw thing when they're a little more in a focus down, when they're thinking a little more. And here he's just kind of working on his impulse control and waiting for his food. But when you have a dog in like a relaxed down, like they probably not bending their paw like that. They're just relaxing. But this is kind of more of a little bit of a training down, focus down. And we're just feeding him in small increments to, one, just because I'm talking to you guys, and we're just doing a little longer training session because we're doing this live, but also to give him some impulse control. You know, we're just training patience. We're training mental stability by kind of dragging this out. And this is appropriate for him and necessary. He's a working dog, so he needs to be able to focus and keep it together and be stable in very hectic environments. You know, he helps me in training sessions with clients with dogs that want to get to him and that are very reactive and have behavioral issues. And he has to keep it together and help me and be around those situations. So I want him to be as mentally stable as possible. So doing some of these training sessions helps with that. Helps get his engagement on me, helps get his impulse control dialed in, or else it probably wouldn't be fair for me to put him in all the challenging situations I put him in. Basic commands to start. The commands we always start with is we start with a place command, a crate and a place command in the house, and then we move into a sit, a down, and a recall, a come command. And then the last one we add in is a heel, because the heel is tougher than all those other ones. A heel is a lot tougher command than a sit, a down, a place. But that's what you need. Place, sit, down, come, heel. That's all the commands we teach in our basic obedience and then advanced off-leash training. That's it. Super simple. Jax is 6.5. My recall command is come. I say come. But I also have a soft recall. I have videos on a normal recall and a soft recall. So normal recall should never be ignored. You should never say come if you're not ready to enforce the come. If you don't have your dog on a long line or your dog on an e-collar, you should not recall your dog. Say some other word. Do something else. But don't say come unless you can enforce it. And also don't say come if you don't have a reward to give your dog. Hey, appreciate you, Kit Kat. Yeah, so if you don't have a treat or a toy to give your dog, do not say come. So this is where a soft recall comes. And this is a recall that maybe your dog can blow off, you know. This is a recall that you use when you don't have the e-collar, or you forgot the long leash, and maybe you don't have a treat or a reward to give. And mine is this way. When I say this way, he still listens to it every time, pretty much. I'm sure he's ignored it before, but it's been a long time because I've had him for years. But technically, if I say this way, it's not the end of the world if he ignores it. So I'll use that if I'm not prepared to do actual recall training. And the reason we do this is we want our recall command, we want our come command to be rock solid, 100% of the time that dog's coming. So to do this, you have to have only good repetitions. You'll mess them up at first, but you'll get to a point where every single recall happens. Like when I say come, my dog is coming no matter what. At this point, he does it all on his own. No matter what situation, what environment we're in, what trigger we're around, he is gonna come no matter what. But at a certain point, I had to pressure him to come sometimes when we were first training. So if you say come, your dog is either coming on their own or you're pressuring them to come. You're reeling them in with a long line attached to a prong collar, or you're reeling them in with the e-collar pressure. Something to let them know that, hey, like I'm gonna say come once and you're either coming on your own or with my assistance, and it's always gonna be a good thing. If you come on your own, mark and reward. If you don't come and I have to pressure you into coming, well, when you comply to that pressure, I'm gonna release the pressure and I'm still gonna mark and reward it. So it's always a good thing. And the dogs start to learn, okay, every time I hear come, I'm gonna end up coming, whether it's on my own or not. So I have to do it. But every time I do it, it's a good thing. So you build up the drive and you eventually have a dog who doesn't think. Like he doesn't even know that not coming is like an option. I see the hat on there. Thanks, Kit Kat. He doesn't even know that's an option because he's never like not come. He doesn't even know like that's possible. And he's happy to come every time. Like he runs to me, ears flopping, like tail up, like he is happy to come to me, even if he's recalling off a deer or a dog or whatever. But I train him to make good decisions, so I don't want to have to recall him. I want him to just come to me if he sees something that he's not supposed to go investigate. That's the end goal of training, is teaching a dog to make good decisions on their own. I don't want to have to micromanage him. I don't want to have to recall my dog and put him in a heel every time we pass things. I want him to know that, hey, dude, you're not allowed to chase the squirrel. You're not allowed to chase the deer, but you can chase this ball, and we can go run and have fun to get that same prey drive out. Dude, you're not allowed to go up to random dogs and people. You're not allowed to do it. But if you stay with me, once we get to the park, we'll meet up with your friend and you guys can play, or we'll play tug or have fun in some other way. But you're not allowed to just go up to people. And he knows that. I was hoping the hat would go into Jags. I mean, you can let me know if you're doing another one and I'll back up. That would be hilarious, though. There's not an age that's too late to train. If your dog is still cognitively functionable, like they don't have dementia, they're not like some 15-year-old dog, losing it, and if they're physically capable where they don't have like bad hips or they're not like limping around, your dog can be trained. So if they're 11, 12 years old, 13 years old, and they still check off those two boxes, cognitively functionable, physically able, then you can train them. It might look a little different than training a spry, energetic young puppy, but that dogs are always willing to learn a new way to live if you're ready to teach them. My dog comes to me every time he's scared, but if there's a squirrel, yeah, it can be tough. I know that he sees a squirrel before me because he'll kind of come running back to me. He's allowed to kind of like investigate the squirrel. He can kind of like, keep walking a little bit after it. But as soon as it like triggers him, as soon as that squirrel like darts up the tree and he has an urge to like chase after it, he immediately turns and runs to me because he's trained to, okay, when this gets to that point and I feel that urge, I'm running back to dad and good things come my way. He gets a ball, he gets a treat. And at this point, sometimes he doesn't get anything. He's just happy to come back to me. But during training, they got to get something. Dogs are ninjas. Yeah, they are. They're awesome. Yep, that Amazon treat jar. That dog is locked the F in. Yeah, he is. Yep, thanks, Match My Loyalty. If you're still in here, appreciate you. Hope you have a good rest of your night. My dog tries to climb the tree. Hey, that's a confident doggo. What e-collar brands are your most reliable and most preferred? So what I recommend to all my clients and to everyone I talk to on the internet is the e-collar Technologies is the brand, and the e-collar is the Mini Educator ET300. Mini Educator ET300. It's the most common e-collar that dog trainers use. It's affordable. It's a good e-collar too. It's like $200 on Chewy or on Amazon, and it's a really good bang for your buck. Really good e-collar, really good remote too. Can train almost every dog. If you have a really difficult dog who's really resilient to pressure, who might feel a lot of e-collar pressure and just blow it off and not even care, which some dogs do, you want to get the e-collar Technologies Big Boss e-collar for those tougher dogs. But yeah, those e-collar Technologies ones are awesome. If you want to spend more money, if you have the money, I use a Martin Systems Chameleon 3B. They're pretty pricey, but they're like the Ferrari of e-collars. So that's the best on the market probably, or probably definitely. But there's some Dogtra and Garmin e-collars that are like middle of the pack, like $500-$600, something like that, that I've never used. I've only used e-collar Technologies with my client dogs, and I used the Martin Systems Chameleon 3B. But a lot of people are very, they advocate for their Garmins and their Dogtras, And I've had clients come to me and they already bought a Garmin or something, and we just use that, and they've worked good. So there's a few options, but the most popular are e-collar Technologies, Dogtra, Garmin, and Martin Systems if you want to break the bank. Yeah, the e-collar name is the most popular one that I recommend is the e-collar Technologies Mini Educator ET300. So E as in easy, T as in Tim, 300. I have a dog that thinks is greedy. He doesn't sit still when he sees food like how I'm seeing yours. Yep, you got to teach the dog the rules. Use some leash pressure. My dog is 3 months old and starting to anticipate what I'm going to say next, like laying down early. Yeah, dogs will do that. They're smart creatures. and they're trying to guess right, and they're usually moving a lot quicker than us. And you just want to utilize leash pressure. You know, put a leash on that dog, and if you have them just in a sit or something, and they go into a down or they start doing all these commands, just give them some leash pressure. Just pop them back up. Just kind of use the leash to hold them still and let them know that, hey, I want you to stay still until you hear me tell you a clear command. Just relax. You got to teach the dog stillness. As you start teaching the dog commands, you also have to balance it out by teaching them to just stay still and go to a place or stay in a down or just wait until you say something. And if he starts doing something before you say something, just give him leash pressure back into wherever he was, back onto the place or back into a sit or just whatever stillness you need to create. Yeah, this is my dog. Yep, Husky Pit mix. Yes. Husky Pit Bull. How do you start to condition the e-collar? I mean, that's not something that like you can just answer quickly, just verbally. You know, I'd recommend looking up some videos. I got some videos talking about it in more depth on my page, and you know, there's a lot of trainers that have some free content on YouTube. I don't have that for free. It's on my online training platform my clients go through, and I'm continuing to build that out, at least off-leash wise, e-collar wise. But there's some good content you can find on doing e-collar conditioning. But it's teaching the dog to turn off the pressure. You're conditioning the dog just to his working level is the first thing, and then you teach the dog to turn off the pressure by using the pressure with commands that he already knows. But it's not something that's going to make sense to you. I just like rattle off some explanation. You know, you need someone to teach you how to do that, or you need to invest in some online training content. Or work through someone's e-collar course or something. I don't have a fully online one, so you'd have to work with me in person in the Seattle area. But I'm working to eventually have just online training. When was the last time he got up from the spot you told him to stay? Oh, yeah, I guess he's been down here a while. But he's good. I don't know. However long I've been talking to you guys, maybe like 15 minutes or something. Yeah, right now it's just in person, Ash. Yeah, I'm slowly working on making my course fully online. So right now, all my clients, they work with me in person, but they also work on the online platform, and they work through video lessons and course material while they meet with me in person, and then they go back and do more of the online coursework, and then we meet again, and it's like a back and forth. And I'm recording some of those training sessions when I can to eventually make it completely online. So you can do the start to finish process just online. But for now, it's still like a hybrid. Oh, you mean like when was the last time he disobeyed your stay command? I mean, he's not perfect. Like, you know, there's situations where he knows like he just cannot like disobey that command, like in these pressure situations. But you know, he's a dog that will push boundaries and test rules. Like I can't remember off the top of my head, but there's been some time recently, I'm sure, where he's maybe like kind of disobeyed a command. I can't remember. It doesn't really happen, I guess. And when it does happen, it's when I'm kind of like just being lazy, like we're not being really strict or something like that. But maybe like a super blatant like bad decision. I don't know. Maybe it's been a year or something like that. Like it's not perfect, but yeah, it's been a while since he was like, you know, maybe in a down or something, and like a dog walked by or something, and he was like, "Fuck it," and like I'm going after the dog. Like, it's been a while, but he might just like, you know, casually just break something that I'm not really enforcing. But it's a good question though. I wish I had a better answer, but we're in the Seattle area. I train in Western Washington. But yeah, you'll see him like in my videos, like my latest TikTok, we're in downtown Seattle, and he's on a place board, and there's people coming up to us and talking, and we're in like the thick of it on a busy like sunny day in Seattle, and there's people everywhere, there's dogs everywhere. We're downtown, and he's on a placemat, and you see me talking to people. You see dogs passing us and pulling up to him, and like I don't have to worry about him getting up. You know, I don't even hold the e-collar remote. I forget to turn the e-collar on a lot of times. A lot of times I get home and we spent the day like in Seattle in like the busiest areas, and I get home at the end of the day, and I'm like, oh shit, I forgot to turn the e-collar on. Like the whole day it wasn't on, and I didn't I didn't know. Um, but I don't have to worry about him like blatantly disobeying that as long as things are clicking. But he's not perfect, so I could like, I could be having some bad day and just being stressed and just sloppy and just going through the motions and just take him somewhere, and I could put him into a command and my energy could be all off, and maybe I hadn't been taking him out or exercising him as much, and why would he just listen to me? Like in a situation like that, he's not perfect. Like if I went about my business in that sloppy of a way, he would definitely break commands. Like he would definitely like get into some shenanigans. But I don't do that, you know. And if there's a day where I'm having an off day or I don't want to deal with him or something like that, then we take a break. I don't take him to the busiest area. You know, we do something easier that day. Like, so I'm just setting him up for success. And you learn how to do that over time with your dogs. Hey, thanks, Thelma. I haven't got the November yet. Everything scares him. You just got to work through training. Work through the full training process. There's no secret to address your dog's fear. Your dog being scared of things, like a lot of people ask this, like, hey, on my hour walk, I go on my hour walk with my dog, and my dog's scared of everything on the hour walk. Like, what do I do on the walk to make him not scared? And what I always remind people is that your dog is scared on your hour walk because of everything that you're doing incorrectly the other 23 hours of the day. All the things that you're doing wrong or the things that you're not doing that you don't know to do is the reason why your dog's all scared. By the time you go out for your walk, it's already been decided like how your dog's gonna act. Like you're not gonna magically turn them into a confident dog on the walk. Like yes, is there techniques and leash training and things you need to do on your walk? Yes, there is. But just focusing on that and ignoring all the other stuff you're doing, like the home structure, the leadership, the communication system, the resource management, the dog handler ability, ignoring all of that and just trying to focus directly on the walk and the fear, it's not going to work because you're still doing everything else wrong. Like you can't skip all the work and just try to like find some quick solution. You need to kind of structure everything through a dog training system. Work with the dog trainer. They'll help you. All right, they'll help you restructure the house. All right, let's crate train your dog. Let's place train your dog. Let's figure out how to set some rules and boundaries in the house. Like, okay, we got that down. Check. All right, let's work on doing some leash training stuff in low distraction environments. Let's figure out how to use the leash properly. Okay, check. Let's figure out how are we going to give corrections with the leash? How are we going to reward with our communication system? Let's start playing a little bit. Let's figure out some of these obedience behaviors. You want to work through a training system. And when you do that, everything's strategic. If you're working with a trainer, you're going through their program, nothing's like random. You're progressing methodically, and you'll slowly get to this point where you check off all of these boxes to where because of all this X, Y, and Z that you're doing, your dog's not going to be an anxious, scared dog anymore. It doesn't make sense to be anxious and scared because you're a clear leader. You have clear communication. You're managing their resources properly. You're handling the leash properly. You're holding them accountable. They understand why they're getting rewarded. They understand why they're getting corrected. All of these little pieces of dog training that you need to slowly put together. There's no secret fix or quick tip, or at least I don't know it. That's not how I train. Oh, the mic dropped. Oh, what's the boy doing? All right, let's do a few more tricks. Then we're gonna put him in the kennel, feed him the rest of the food. Is the mic back good? Let me know. What? Free, buddy? All right, I guess not free for all of that, but free, boy. Free. Move around. Good? Cool. Yeah, let me know. They'd be doing that. What? Hey, buddy. Stand. Down. Stand. Heel. Yeah, shake it off, boy. Free. You need another shake off? You good? Good. So check this out. Free. When I have my feet like this right now, but when I stagger them off, he's going to know that I want him to weave. Hey, not quite. Free. He's going to malfunction first. Good. We got a tired boy. Good. We're going to do a few more. So when I spread my legs out like this and they're in line, they're not staggered, he knows that that means just to pop under and get into place. Good job. Free. Sit. Pretty. Pretty. Oh, almost. You tired? Free. Come here. Sit. Pretty. Good. Good job, buddy. Good boy. Choop. And he's so gassed, we're just going to give him a break. So if you guys check out our other lives, we were doing obedience for like 45 minutes earlier and just doing fun tricks and stuff. So he's a totally different dog. But we're on the tail end. We've been live for like an hour or longer now. So we're going to chill. And walking dog right now, no leash, no e-collar, just good recall. Yep. I mean, that's the goal of going through e-collar training, is getting full voice control of your dog. When you train the e-collar properly, you condition it to your voice, so that eventually you can use just your voice, and it basically has the same effect as an e-collar. And you know, your commands all get so dialed in from that e-collar training. Good job, buddy. All right, we're gonna let him chill instead of doing more work. What? Is that a puppy in the kennel? How'd that puppy get in there? What's up, YouTube? But my baby listens to me when it matters. Yep, that's what matters the most. That's what matters the most. Yeah, the doggos don't need to do all this extra stuff Jax does. It's not all necessary, but we're dog training nerds. And this is my job too. Like, this is my profession. But normal people have different jobs and different interests, and you don't need to do all the extra stuff. Do you have any tips on excitement reactivity? Yeah, I just met with a new lab today that's over excitement based reactive. And yeah, I talk a bunch about it in my YouTube videos. If you really want to fix that with your dog, go watch the long form course videos on my YouTube. There's only 3 of them. You know, I think I have 4 videos on my YouTube, like long format, and 3 of them are the course videos that you want to watch. You check them out, and you'll get a full understanding of excitement-based reactivity and how we work through that in training. You got the same kennel too? Yep, it's a nice one. Yep, it is my dog. Yeah, I'm missing some of your comments, Amanda. Hopefully someone's helping you out. But yeah, pet corrector can be useful. I know a lot of people that use it. Sorry, YouTube. I'm so bad with the YouTube. Can I have mod major? Yeah, I probably need a mod on YouTube. People say some wild stuff on YouTube. Can you override genetics? Yeah. No, like, you can't override genetics, but you can become better at managing them. But you're never going to be able to like reverse certain things. You can just get them to a lot more stable place, a lot more manageable place. Ba 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 ba. Oh man, this live got like the most likes. Yeah, you guys are awesome. Oh. All right, let's get this dude the rest of his food. So I'm gonna get him an egg. He eats the eggshell as well. We're gonna get him some oil of oregano supplement. We are going to get him some coconut oil, and the oil of oregano. Great antibacterials, great for skin, coat, nails. You know, blueberries, great for dogs. Manuka honey, great for dogs. I give him a CBD turmeric supplement as well. The CBD doesn't really do anything for him. He's a psycho. I could give him the CBD supplement and we could go on a 10-mile run or go play for an hour right after. But I give it to him for the anti-inflammatory effect and the benefit it has, like on his immune system and just that regenerative health. And yeah, this is just what we do. I'm not giving nutritional advice. I'm a trainer and a behaviorist, so I'm not a canine nutritionist, but just picked a few things. Works for my dog. We stick to it. He doesn't have any health issues. He a healthy boy. Couple blueberries for him. Couple for me. Yeah, he also gets bites of my steaks whenever I cook steaks, which is often. Give him those fatty meat cuts. Yeah, he's in there. You see him eyeing me. Yeah, I gotta taste test all of his food. It's just a necessary step. It's just a mush bowl, you know? He likes it. This just turned into ASMR. I'm hungry. Yeah, people tell me I should do ASMR. But now I kind of got allergies. And you guys just are hearing me breathing heavy on my lives for the last week. Because it's hard to talk and breathe when you got stuff in your nose. He knows what's coming. He's hearing all the right words. Yeah. Yep, Jax is amazing. Yeah. He's an awesome dog. Confidence for it will build your dogs as well. If a dog runs up to you off leash, do not fear it. Yeah, the dogs feed off that energy. And freaking out and getting worried like never helps at all. Just does not help one bit. The echo is crazy. Is it? Are you guys hearing that? Hearing the echo? Did you train anywhere or self-taught? Yeah, I worked at a dog school in my area years ago. I worked under a couple trainers that kind of like mentored me and like took Jax through some programs as well. That's the best thing. If you guys are wanting to become a trainer, the best thing you can do is take your dog through another trainer's program from start to finish, so you can see what the full process is. Like I recommend that over shadowing. I recommend that over any like online like certification or work or whatever like that. Just the hands-on work with your dog, because you have access to your dog all day. If you're going and working other dogs, like yeah, that's good to get that experience in, but then you don't have access to that dog all day. You can't necessarily build off everything and account for everything. So obviously you're gonna have to do a lot more than just train your dog, but training your dog to the absolute highest level you can is the number one way to learn to become a dog trainer. No, that was earlier with the mic. Okay, good. Why isn't he eating his food? He's just like self-conscious about his weight and just kind of thinks he's fat, so he's not. I'm just kidding. He's just waiting for my release word. But you know he's tired because he's already in a down, it looks like. Yeah, he's sleepy boy. Choop! What type of e-collar do you use? No, he is perfect. He's in such good shape too. Like he's in very good shape. I got his meal down to a science. I use the Martin Systems Chameleon 3B e-collar. It's like a high-end e-collar that's not necessary. If you're a dog training nerd and you have the money, great. It's an awesome e-collar, but you don't need it. The e-collar I recommend to everybody is the e-collar Technologies Mini Educator ET300. So Mini Educator ET300. Great e-collar. $200 on Chewy and Amazon. I recommend you upgrade the strap to a bungee strap. You can find bungee straps for mini educators on Etsy or other websites, I'm sure, and upgrade the contact points to wing and feather contact points if you have a long-haired dog. And I got videos on all this stuff, but it's just not as simple as like, oh, I'm just gonna go buy the e-collar, and you kind of have to do little adjustments depending on your dog to make things more functional. It'd be cool if it was just really simple and you just got the e-collar and it came with everything you need. But all my clients go through a supplies video on my online coursework. So I let them know the exact gear to get with links and little adjustments and upgrades that certain things need that they maybe don't come with. And a good trainer will help you figure all those little nuances out. How come he got so little food? So he already worked for his kibble part of his food. So we've been live for like an hour and a half, and the first part of the live, he does a bunch of obedience and tricks and engagement, and we just have fun, and he works for the kibble part. And that's the bulk of his food. And then I put him in the kennel afterwards, and that's where he gets this human food, the few things that I just throw in his bowl, the egg and the supplements and the blueberries and honey and oil and all that stuff. But together, between the kibble and what he just ate, that's all his food for the day, just in this one little mealtime training session that's kind of dragged out over the course of this live. What do I contact for a consult with my dog? I train in Seattle and Bellingham and Western Washington, and you can go to my website. It's linked in my bio on my TikTok. And on my website, you can book a free consultation with me. And it gives you the locations so you can see where I do those at, and you can email me if you have any questions. And also linked in my bio is my YouTube channel, and you can check out some of the course videos on my YouTube for free. So if you become a paying client, you'll get access to my online platform, and you'll have to go through that coursework while we meet for in-person training sessions. You do both. Together, it's very productive and very efficient way to train, using the online course paired with the in-person sessions, and also paired with just asking me any questions. You can call me, text me every day because you need my help to problem solve along the way. And some of those videos on the online platform that all my clients go through, I put on YouTube for free. So you can kind of preview and see some of the training program and what you'll be getting yourself into. I don't do phone consults. Yeah, sorry, Shoshana. But you can find a good trainer in your area. Look up a good balance trainer, someone who's got high drive dogs. Pay attention to their social media. If they don't have social media, like what do they got on their website? You know, go meet up with them. Like, does what they say and how they train and how their dogs look and behave, does that resonate with you? There's a lot of us trainers out there. Yeah, the crates are really good for them. Closed crates are good for doggos. Chicago area Rex. I do not know any good Chicago trainers. What I would recommend, Shoshana, is, and I don't like do YouTube. I'm not like monetized on YouTube, so I promise I'm not saying this for like my own gain. But I would honestly go to my YouTube and watch the long form course videos. I got 3 of them on there, and if you watch those, it'll give you a whole foundational understanding of dog training. And then I would look up trainers in your area and see if you think they can help walk you through everything I talk about in those videos. And if you watch them, it'll make more sense, and you'll see kind of what you're looking for, and you'll better be able to find a good dog trainer. But right now, understandably, you probably don't know what to look for. You're probably like, am I looking at a good dog trainer? Am I not? Like, and watching those course videos will really help give you an idea of what to look for better. I don't know what's going on in Chicago. Chicago. Why are closed up crates better than wire crates? They're just more sturdy, you know. Like he's not at risk of like breaking out of there free. But they're just a lot more sturdy crate. And this is like a vehicle crate. This is like a crash proof tested crate. I just haven't got the vehicle to put it in yet. It doesn't fit in my sedan. But it doesn't really matter if the crate's wire or not. But these crates are a lot better because sometimes the wiring, it's like, there's a reason why the wire crates are so much cheaper than crates like these. Is because they're, you know, they're not as sturdy, they're flimsy, they're less of a solid foundation. You know, there's a lot more openings in them. A crate like this is much more solid. Like the dog feels much more safe. There's less, you know, movement. Like a crate like this isn't going to move when he moves around in there. A wire crate, I know dogs that get freaked out. They start to move around in the wire crate and it shakes and makes noises. And they're like, what the heck is that? And it's just darker in here, which, you know, we want the kennel to be a dark, safe cave environment for you doggies, huh? Good boy, get some water. Does it make him feel too closed in? No, so that's not how dogs operate. Like that's gonna make a dog feel safer, you know? And we kind of think of things through our human perspective. Like, oh, if I want a room, I want it to have like a bunch of windows and I want it to be open, and that's not what's gonna make a dog feel secure and safe. It's actually quite the opposite. So we want to look at things through a dog's perspective, which is often quite opposite of how we might decide to look at things from our human perspective, with our human emotions. Very different with dogs. And when the crates have just more closed in and just dark and secluded environment, like that's a safer place for a dog to go decompress. And it's not like this. This example I'm going to use is very like, it's not like a technical example, but think of it like a cave. Like a dark cave that a dog wants to go into, you know, like a hidden nest that a bird wants to use for their where to put their babies. It's kind of like that type of thinking with a dog in their kennel. That's why you want the kennel to, like, you know, ideally like not be in like the living room. Like put the kennel in like a back bedroom that's like quiet and separate. But our human emotions would say, no, we want the doggy to be out in the room with everyone, and just a little different with the doggos. What you doing, buddy? He's like, you about to brush my teeth? Yup, happy to explain. Yeah, dogs do insist on squeezing in the small places. That's why you see dogs like climb under the couch, or they'll often find some like corner to go lay in or something like that. And you know, it's just what makes them feel safer. So we're actually gonna brush this boy. We're gonna brush his teeth and we're gonna brush his coat. And he don't like neither. But it's a lot easier now to do this. We've conditioned the tools and the toothpaste. We've been getting this done for a while, but he still don't like it. The toothpaste he can't resist. It's just flavored toothpaste. And he definitely doesn't like having his teeth rubbed like this and me in his mouth. But you see, he can't resist the toothpaste. He comes towards the toothpaste. But then I put it in his mouth and he's like, I don't love this part, but he can taste the flavor. It's actually cinnamon sweet potato, which is a very weird combination. I was like, is he gonna like this? And he did, so cool. I knew he'd like the sweet potato because he's had that. It's kind of basic with dogs. But cinnamon, I was like, is he gonna like cinnamon? That's kind of a weird spice, or at least I think it's a spice, I don't know. Yeah, but you see, he still doesn't like this. You see his ears go back, and you can't see his tail, but his tail's tucked, and it's like, you know, that's okay. Like, I'm not gonna expect him to love it. When you're teaching your dog to brush their teeth and to do grooming, I always remind you guys how, yeah, condition the tool, be patient at first, take it slow, but at some point, you're just gonna have to get it done. The dog's never gonna love it. If you're waiting for your dog to love having that thing done, if it's a thing that they struggle with and they really don't like, you're never gonna get them to love it. But you can get to a point where you can be calm and your relationship can be strong enough to where you can just be like, hey, I know you don't like this, but there's stuff that we have to do in life that we don't enjoy. It doesn't always feel good. And it's gonna be okay. And you get it done and you move on. And the doggy's okay. Give me a shaker, buddy. Come on. You got a shake in you. Come on. Give me a shake. Come on. No. I think you got a shake. You see, he's kind of like stuck. He's like, I don't know how to feel. Come on, give me a shake. Yeah! So I try to make him shake off some of that stress. And, yeah, then he's fine. Then we move on. Hey, wait, buddy. Before you plop, because I know you're going to be out for the count. Come here, boy. Come on. Now this, he definitely doesn't like getting himself brushed. And I like to do this off of his place bed because I don't want him to associate this with his place. He's like, not this again, Dad. Good. I know. Yeah, he's got this little scab I've been checking on. I know, buddy, this ain't no fun, huh? But like I was just telling the people on Tickety Talk and YouTube, sometimes we just gotta do things that we don't like doing. That's okay. Easy, I know, buddy, come on. Yeah, and you see, if he kind of tries to get away, it's like, hey, like, I don't have a big reaction to it. It's just gonna calmly grab him, get him back, and be like, sorry, dude, we gotta do this. Good. Hey, the last thing I want to communicate is that if you like run away, then it's over. You know, because I don't want him to think, oh, if I just run away, I can avoid everything. It's like, no. I know, buddy. I know, we're almost done. That's all, buddy. Good boy. Yeah. You survived. Hey. It's like trying to look up and say, good. Yeah, shake it off. And boom. He's good. Good job, buddy. You survived. You survived. Using that little, like, side posture. Yeah, you guys will see me clean his ears at some point. That's his least favorite. He hates the ears more than anything. His little tail tuck. Yeah. Yeah, he doesn't love it, and you know, that's okay. It should have been or it used to be so much worse. Like he used to have such an issue with the teeth brushing, specifically in the grooming part. Yeah, but he can handle it now. I like his chair. What the dog doing? Yep, it's a gunner kennel. Why do dogs have to work for food? Does he ever get to chill and play? Yeah, actually, so it doesn't seem like it at first from the outside, but having a dog work for food allows them to experience more freedom and to be more chill and to play more. And this happens because when you have a dog work for his food, you communicate that the food is a valuable resource that you are managing as a human. And I always use this equation of a dog working for their food. I compare it to a human who doesn't work for their food. So let's say a human lives at home with his mom, and he lives in the basement, and his mom does the grocery shopping, and his mom cooks the food, and the 40-year-old, you know, person who never left the house, just goes up and doesn't work for anything. That's not going to be an emotionally stable human. That's not going to be a mentally stable human. That human's not going to have confidence and self-worth because they're not doing anything to earn, those resources. They're just being handed everything. It doesn't benefit them. That's why good parents teach their kids to be self-sufficient and earn things in life and not be gifted them. And this is how we do that with dogs, by having them do work for their food. So work can be a very different things. It can be just simple obedience, just some impulse control, just some tricks, just a little bit of engagement with you, You can use mealtime training sessions to condition tools like the toothbrush and like the grooming brush. That can be work. You're teaching the dog to have a positive association with the tools that you're using. Work is just using the food to teach something. It can be anything. And this builds up your relationship with your dog. It builds up your dog's confidence. It makes them more connected with you. It makes them, feel more resilient because they understand, oh, like I'm actually doing something for this food. I'm learning something. I'm putting the pieces of some puzzle together. It's good for their mental stability. And that's probably the biggest thing, is that when your dog sees you in charge of a valuable resource like food, like, okay, I'm working for you to get this food and it's coming from your hand feeding it. Thanks for the heart, me, whoever sent that. Like the dog is gonna understand that they have a clear leader. And a dog that understands they have a clear leader, they're understanding that because you're communicating in dog. And someone who's managing resources properly and having a dog work for them, like that's speaking dog. And that dog is going to be so much more less anxious. They're going to be able to go out and be in more distracting environments and be more mentally stable. They're going to be more relaxed so they can chill. Like this is this is what you get when you work a dog. Like this is what you get all day. Like the dog is so mentally and physically satisfied and taken care of that I don't have to like tell him to chill. Like he's going to sleep till I don't even know, tomorrow afternoon. And he's going to be happy to do it because he gets that mental and physical stimulation. And there's a lot of ways you have to do that in training, but having a dog work for their food is one of the most effective and efficient ways of doing that. But that's a good question, and I put that in the live title because I would want to explain that to people. I'm happy to. Hearing your advice and side-eyeing my spoiled dog as he sleeps. Yeah. And remember that everything you guys see on my page and everything I talk about is I'm coming from the perspective of training difficult dogs. Reactive, aggressive, fearful dogs. Stubborn dogs, like dogs who are destructive and disobedient. Hey, thanks, Kate Cat. I don't think I've got that one, little crown. Oh, I tried to move to put it on Jax. I'm coming from the perspective of training those dogs. So if you have some dog that is just super easy and they don't have any behavior issues and they listen when you need them to listen, you don't need to do everything I'm talking about. But if you have a dog that's very reactive, that you can't take places, that doesn't listen, that gets destructive in the house or has whatever behavior problems, that's who I'm talking to. Those are the dogs that need to do some of this. But if you have some super easy golden retriever that was well bred and he's not that trained, but he's super sociable and doesn't, have a bunch of negative behavior patterns or destructive behaviors, like cool, just enjoy your well-bred social dog. You don't have to have them be super trained. But reactive, aggressive, fearful dogs, you don't have that luxury with those dogs. Disobedient dogs or physically large dogs. Some dogs you just don't have the luxury of not doing the training. Like you don't get to be like those owners that have easy labs or easy golden. That's just not the dog you have. So let's look at the dog for who they are. And that's all the structure, all the discipline, all the resource management, all the leadership. That's what those dogs need more than anything to be able to handle freedom. Because if you can't build a mentally stable dog, if you can't communicate your leadership, if you can't hold your dog accountable, they're not going to be able to have any freedom. Hey, thanks for the November Kit Kat. They're not going to be able to have any freedom because you're not going to be able to trust them. They're not going to listen to you when you need them to. But if you have a dog that listens to you, that is connected with you because, you work together, you do obedience and you work for the food and you play together and you train, And you know that dog's gonna come when you tell them to come. You know they're gonna heel when you tell them to heel. You know they're gonna keep it together on the leash when you're passing other dogs. That's a dog that you're gonna be able to take anywhere. You're gonna be able to take them off leash. You're gonna be able to let them go sniff and be a dog because you can trust them, because you built up their mental stability and you built up that obligation, that discipline, because discipline creates freedom. We get it with people, but we kind of forget with dogs because they're so cute and cuddly. We're like, oh, I don't want to tell my dog what to do. I don't want to instill discipline in my dog. It's like, no, he's cute and cuddly. And then we end up spoiling the dog and being pushovers, and we build a mentally weak dog that can't handle stress, that can't handle his excitement, that gets scared of everything. And then we can't take that dog anywhere. And that totally sucks. Hey, thanks for the hand heart. I think I've gotten some hand hearts, but you definitely sent me some new things I haven't seen. But I'm terrible with the gifts. Does anyone have recommendations for a not so expensive dog crate for inside the house? I would just get a wire dog crate or whatever you can find on Amazon. If your dog's not at a risk of escaping from the crate and you don't have to worry about that, just get whatever wire, whatever cheap one on Amazon. I like the Gunner one for the car. Yeah, they're just expensive. And if you want a high quality crate in the house, get a impact crate. But again, they're really expensive, and you don't need that unless you have a very difficult, problematic dog. Rufflin Kennel is another good one that's kind of middle of the pack pricing. But again, if you don't have a problematic dog, you don't need the Rufflin. Like I'm telling you, just get a wire one. Just get some cute, simple one on Amazon, as long as your dog's not going to be the type of dog that destroys it or tries to get out. If you do have a dog that destroys the crate, that escapes, that gets destructive in there, you're just going to have to spend some more money. You're just going to have to get a nice one. And that's tough, but that's just the reality of it. You know, a Rufflin Kennel, an Impact Crate, or a Gunner Kennel. Yep, Facebook Marketplace offer. That's a good point. I have a Dogo Argentino. Hey, that's an awesome dog. That's a dog I could have. Yeah, that's a serious dog. Maybe get a Rufflin Kennel, but again, they can still be a little pricey. But he's pretty good, but he wants to destroy the bed I bought for inside it. Yeah, take the bed out. Like I'm telling you, if your dog is destroying something in the crate, take it out. Like we're always like, oh, plastic or hard surface, that's so mean. Like, no, just condition it. Your dog will get conditioned to that, and they'll be comfortable just on that flat surface. Like your dog does not need a blanket or a bed in the crate. And maybe later down the line, you'll work on some training. You'll train your dog to be more mentally stable, less destructive, and then maybe you can introduce that in the future. But don't feel bad about taking those out, because it's not helping the dog if they have something to act out on their anxiety with. Because that's what your dog's doing when they're getting destructive in the crate with the pillow. Or you're teaching them that, hey, there's something you can do to cope with your anxiety, and it's negative and it's unproductive. We don't want to give them the chance to do that. If the dog's feeling some anxiety and some stress in the crate, that's normal during the training process. We want them to learn to adapt and learn to work through it on their own without doing anything destructive. So you need to remove those to allow them to build those skills. I have learned that the hard way, yep. We all do. I've learned a lot of things the hard way with this guy. Oh, what's up, Layton? Yeah. I'm on the TikTok on here. Sorry, I'm ignoring the YouTube. But I don't have a mod on there. Can you do a live training with dogs? I have live streamed some sessions before, but I usually don't, because I don't want the clients to feel weird about it. And if I record my client sessions, I do it for my online course footage, and I do it like in landscape format. Yeah, so it's not like portrait. But I'll post some reels and some stuff with clients. But I just do my content with my dog. Like, it is what it is. I enjoy doing it, and it's a lot more sustainable. I don't really like to think about content with clients or clients' dogs, and some people want to see that, and a lot of trainers do. But I just like doing my content with him in my free time because it's really easy. I can still get the information out. There might not be all the visuals that you get if I was like handling all these different dogs, but It is what it is. Like, this isn't really work for me. I just have a free night and I hop on live and have fun with my dog. Like, that's something I want to keep doing. But, you know, I already have a job training dogs, so I don't want to turn social media like into another job too. But you'll see some stuff in the future. I'll slowly do more. I want to do some more like day in the life, like whether I have a training session or consults or not, and just do some more live streaming of just more things. But I need like help with that. I need someone who wants to like follow me around with a camera for long periods of time. Some days. Does Jax need a blanket? No, he doesn't. He won't get under blankets, even if it's cold. But he doesn't need one on there. He's just cozy on there. He doesn't need much. Like, I kind of train him to just be a minimalist and just need less. Need less. Like, we don't do coats and boots, and also I'm not in an extreme weather environment. So if you are in an extreme weather environment, you might have to take precautions that I don't. I'm in Western Washington, and we don't have super hot summers, and we don't have super cold winters. And I just train him not to, hey, dude, like, if it's cold, we're just going out. If it's warm, we're just going out. And we're obviously going to watch out for bloat and, you know, heat stroke. But beyond that, it's like, dude, warm is warm. We're just going to do our normal day. Cold is cold. We're just going to do our normal thing. And I like him to be able to rest in, you know, anywhere, whether it's on a bench or on concrete or gravel. It's like, hey, I'm going to teach you to be okay on any surface and not need all these accommodations, because we're not always going to be able to have them. But not to say there's anything wrong with a dog having a blanket. That kind of just got me thinking about that perspective of things. He barked and play around and bit a lot. Yeah. Will you come to OKC? No, but you can come to Washington. Any tips for a dog who won't let the nails get clipped? Yeah, you need to use a reward marker to positively condition the dog to the tool, and then positively condition the dog to getting his nails touched by you. And you need to condition that. Mark and reward the dog for just having his paws touched before you try to cut him. Mark and reward the dog for engaging with the nail clipper, for sniffing it, you know, for having it up against their paw. Not cutting their nails, just close to them, touching them. Slowly work your way up and just try to build a positive association, but you need a reward marker. Can a dog be trained to not eat from other persons? Yeah, absolutely. Or when walking, not smelling the ground for leftovers or garbage. Yeah, but you're going to have to give a dog a consequence to teach them what you don't want them to do. So let's call that bad behaviors. If you don't want the dog to be eating from other people, let's call that a bad behavior. If you don't want the dog eating garbage and leftovers, that's a bad behavior. You need to give the dog a bad consequence for bad behaviors, and then you need to give them a good consequence for the good behaviors. And you create a black and white picture of, hey, this is what I don't want you to do, and this will get you unpleasant consequences. This is what I do want you to do, and this will get you pleasant consequences. Just walk by the garbage. Just look up to me when you see something you used to go eat. You know, just continue to walk. Just sit and relax. Whatever alternative behavior you want them to engage in. But you have to paint that black and white. Helps to have them higher up on like a table or a bench. Well said, yeah, the black and white picture is super important. My Bernedoodle will grab anything as soon as he is let out of his cage. What can I do? Put the dog on a leash. If the dog can't handle the freedom when he comes out of the crate, put him on a leash. Make him settle on the leash, you know? If you don't want him picking things up, put them away or give him a correction or a consequence for putting things in his mouth that aren't his to put in his mouth, you know? I put the toys away in the house. I'll give my dog some enrichment sometimes, but there's nothing in my house that my dog should be putting in his mouth and chewing on, because everything's put away. And we do that outside. We go outside and play with toys. We go outside and interact and jump around and have fun. In the house, it's like, I want to teach the dog to be calm. Dogs can totally be on leash in the house. I think people forget that. Yeah, I have a video where someone asked me if you could give me one tip in dog training, what would it be? And my tip was put a leash on the house. Put a leash on in the house all the time. 100% of the time the dog is in the house, put a leash on. And I'll talk about consequences for unwanted behavior in a second. But it's crazy to not have a leash on in the house, because We put the leash on when we go outside for like 20% of the day, but when we're inside of the house, that's 80% of the day. That's where the dog really develops their mental stability. That's where they develop behaviors, in the house. Everything starts in the house. And it's 80% of the day, and you don't have a leash on them. You don't have a way to manage them. You don't have a way to communicate to them. It makes no sense. So all untrained dogs should have a slip lead or a leash attached to a prong collar on in the house. Dogs can wear prong collars like all day because it's just resting on the dog's neck. Like, and it's not, touching the skin unless you're applying pressure. So dogs can just wear those, and you can have them drag around a leash or put a slip lead on the dog. But you need to be able to manage the dog and teach them rules and boundaries in the house, or they're never going to be able to get it together and be, obedient and mentally stable outside, where it's super distracting and super stimulating. It has to start in the house. What are examples of consequences for unwanted behavior? So the most basic and simple ways of doing this are when you're doing on-leash training, consequences are a leash correction or leash pressure. There's two types of consequences. There's negative reinforcement and there's positive punishment. Negative reinforcement is like low amounts of pressure. You're kind of like pressuring the dog to make a different decision. Positive punishment is just, you're not pressuring the dog into anything. You're just giving him a big punishment event to kind of communicate a big no. So the positive punishment is just like a big no. Negative reinforcement is like, hey, you're making a mistake, change to what I want you to do. But it's just using a leash. And for on-leash training, we attach a prong collar onto the dog's neck, and we put the leash onto that. And you can give a leash pop, you can apply steady pressure, and then we transition to e-collars during off-leash training. And same thing with the e-collar. You can give a high stim correction with the e-collar, or you can apply low-level negative reinforcement pressure with an e-collar. And I talk about what the difference is between those on my YouTube videos. On the Dog Psychology 101 video, we talk about positive punishment and negative reinforcement and what exactly they are and what the difference is. But it's just using pressure to communicate consequences to your dog. But a consequence for unwanted behavior is just any aversive punishment. So anything your dog finds unpleasant. Like if you want to get real cute with it, you can use spray bottles. But some dogs, you spray them with a spray bottle and they think it's fun. It's like they're running through the sprinklers. But other dogs, you spray them with the spray bottle and they're terrified. It's just the worst thing that's ever happened to them. But when your dog is engaging in an unwanted, undesirable behavior, you have to apply a consequence to that, a punishment to that, to get them to devalue that behavior. Because then they'll see what we see as undesirable. Your dog doesn't know that these are undesirable behaviors. We want to teach them through fair and appropriate punishments that these are undesirable behaviors to them also. Because what is completely undesirable to us humans might be completely desirable to the dog. They don't know that chewing stuff up is bad. They don't know what bad behaviors are. They don't know that freaking out of that dog you're passing on the trail is bad. They don't know that, until you attach those punishments to that. And when you punish the dog, you're just creating a hole. You're not necessarily teaching him anything. And so after you punish a dog, they're going to be like, okay, what the hell? What do you want me to do then? And that's where you come in and you fill that hole with positive reinforcement for what you do want them to do, for whatever alternative behaviors you want them to do. Like, oh, you're passing a dog, like I want you to choose to look to me, positively reinforce that. Or you just stay in the heel, positively reinforce that. You just don't react to the dog and show some restraint, positively reinforce that. And when you pair the positive reinforcement with the effective and appropriate punishments, which, yes, leave personal anger out of it. A punishment or a correction, it has nothing to do with emotion. I'm not upset if my dog makes a bad decision. I'm just calmly giving him the consequence that comes with that bad decision. And then when he makes a good decision, I'm going to be real excited and I'm going to reward him for that. But you leave the human emotions out of it, the negative emotions. They have no place in correcting. It's just a calm, response to the behaviors that your dogs are engaging in. And we give punishments for things that we've taught the dog not to do. So we teach the dog the rules and then we hold them accountable to it. But the first steps to punishing your dog properly is you have to establish a healthy relationship and you have to establish clear communication. And then you have to condition the tools. If you don't have a healthy relationship, if you don't have clear communication, and if you haven't conditioned the tools, it's not fair to punish your dog. But when you establish yourself as a leader and you know, you have clear communication, all of a sudden it becomes appropriate. Like your dog will be like, okay, this person can correct me, and I'll listen because he's a worthy leader, and he's fair, and he handles my resources, and he knows what he's doing. So I'm going to respond to this correction productively, and I'm going to learn from it, and I'm going to figure out how to do things properly. But if your dog doesn't see you as a leader and you don't have any clear communication, you're going to punish your dog, and they're not going to know what the hell you want, and they're going to think you're off, and they're going to be like, this guy's unstable, like his corrections aren't, you know, they aren't consistent, they aren't clear, and that's when you can get kind of like a nervous dog because you're not on top of it. But if you know what you're doing and you execute on the training plan properly, the dogs will understand the corrections, they'll understand what you mean by the rewards, and things will become very clear. But we need a trainer to help us problem solve and figure out how to execute on the training properly. Oh. All right, guys. I've been on here too long. I got to run. But it's been fun. Jax is just knocked out. He'll be sleeping. I'll have to make him get up to go out to the bathroom one more time. And then he'll come back in, sleep some more. We ran around the lake earlier. We got this training session and it was fun. So, yeah, I hope you guys have a good rest of your night with your doggos. Give Jax a cuddle. What? A good boy. I'll see you guys later. See you at YouTube.